common mistakes that traders make. Hi, this is Charlie Burton at EzeeTrader, and I hope you're very well. I've listed out a number of mistakes that traders make, and the reason I've decided to do this video today is because I made a mistake this week, and we're all vulnerable to making mistakes in trading. And it doesn't matter who you are. I'm not talking about necessarily revenge trading or anything like that necessarily, but some of the mistakes we can make are just human-based mistakes, and that's what happened to me this week. So what did I do? I put a trade on a couple of days ago on the euro over here when this candle was breaking up around about, it was 118.70 I believe, and as the euro was breaking up a couple of days ago on Monday. And anyway, put the trades on, and I was using two MT4 accounts for a couple of external accounts I have, and so I always pre-populate the position size on the deal ticket and the stop loss, etc. Anyway, put them in, and then at the time from 70, it very quickly fired up on the little 5-minute chart, and it was sitting at around just about 80. And like most people, I go back and double check everything. So a few minutes later, I thought I'll just go back and double check everything's correct. And I saw that I'd actually put a 10 times position size on that I was supposed to. And so it was 10 times the size of what I meant to put in. So I just made an error when I was typing into the position size box and just incorrectly put an extra 0 in. So what do you do in that situation? I immediately closed out the extra 9 times position size, if you see what I mean. So to bring it back down to the position size it should have been. So immediately did that. And I think it was about at that point, by the time I've actually quickly done that on the 2 accounts of mine, it was about 8 pips in profit. Now, some people would say, oh, why didn't you stay with it, Charlie? Well, that's not the point. I've made a mistake on the execution, and I should rectify the mistake. Doesn't matter if I'm in profit or not. So it was a little small bonus that I was in a bit of profit there, and then quickly closed out. But what if you stayed with it and then it rolled over? You would then take a 10 times loss. If you're risking, let's say, 1% of your account, all of a sudden you lose 10% if it rolls all the way over. It's crazy not to do that. And it's the same with, when people do that sort of thing, and it's because it's a common error, people getting position size wrong, and especially if they find that there's their entry there, and then they notice some prices come down a little bit, and then they'll say to themselves, oh, I'll wait until it comes back up to my entry price, and then I'll close out the rest of that position, because they don't want to take that loss. And that's such a bad thing to do, because if it carries on going down, then they take a whopper of a loss. You see, if it comes down to their stop loss, like I said, it could be 10 times. On my example there this week, it would be 10 times what my stop loss should be, or what my stop out should be. So you definitely don't do that. If you ever see a mistake, whether it's in profit like mine was, and as it turns out, it would have gone down into negative. My stop was, I don't know, further down at the time. I don't know, somewhere down here. But so I wouldn't have got stopped out, but it would have gone underwater. And then when you're at 10 times your position size, that's just gambling. So sitting underwater and hoping that it's going to come back up. So when you're massively oversized there, so you can't do that. You just close out. So that was my mistake this week. But let's go through, and that's a common error, is getting position sizing wrong. So I thought, okay, we'll do a video on this. So we've got that one. Incorrect position sizing as a mistake, a common error. What else do we have? Well, we've got the old one of moving stops too quickly, moving stop loss too quickly. Sorry about my writing. That's about as good as my writing, even if I'm using a normal pen and not my mouse. So moving stop losses up to break even too soon, that's a common problem. Now, don't get me wrong. Moving stops to break even is a nice thing to be able to do, but you have to be able to do it at the right time. If you choke your trade and you try and get your stop to break even too soon, then all you're going to end up having is lots and lots of break even trades, and you're not allowing your trade to breathe, to work out. Let's take this example here where like I said, where I got in at 70 over here, if I was moving my stop, oh, it's gone up to 80 or so, I'm going to move my stop to break even now, then would have been a classic example where I just got stopped out only to then seen it go much higher. So moving stops to break even is a common one. Forgetting or not putting stop losses in. No stop loss. So again, a common mistake. Lots of traders all around the world don't use stop losses. And they don't use stop losses because they want to avoid being wrong. That's what they're trying to do. And it's a human instinct. It's that whole not wanting to accept being wrong. Now, that can be ego-led, which a lot of the time it is. Ego-led, that it's a dent to the ego to have to accept that you've been wrong on a trade. But it can be fear-based as well. You can have a fear of losing, and so therefore fear-based traders might, because of their fear of losing, the irony is they can end up taking big losses or be in big drawdowns through fear. Now, interestingly, right now in the markets, if you look at the sentiment out there, I was looking at this when I was in the day trading room yesterday with the day traders, looking at the daily charts here of the euro dollar. So I've got a few horizontal lines and whatnot on my chart here. It was about roughly 72% of retail traders are short euro dollar, and they have been since, well, back here, or probably back here. So because I've been monitoring this for ages, and so it ebbs and flows, it pulls back into the 60s and stuff, but generally speaking, right since back down here, the majority of retail traders have been on the short side. Now, I don't want to get into the ebbs and why that's the case, but generally when a market goes up, retail traders, uneducated retail traders think, oh, it can't go any higher, so they want to short it. But the problem they have is that they don't use stop losses. So that's a big one there, a big no-no, because you can sort of get away with it. And retail traders, I was doing a bit of an exercise yesterday, if you look through from the beginning of this year all the way through 2019, most of the time those retail traders, when they would get net short or get net long, the market would eventually bounce back for them. So they'll go underwater and then eventually it would bounce back for them. This year though, it's not the same. Market's trended. And so there'll be lots of retail traders who will have got blown up as a result of just sitting on trades with no stop losses. So that's another one. Let's see what else we've got. To put it back to an hourly chart, and then we haven't got so many lines on the chart, have we? Yeah. So what have I got written down? A few things. Banking their profits too soon is another common one. Common mistake there. Again, banking profits too soon is, again, it comes back down to that desire to be right. People will hold their losses and sit on losses, as I've just said, but without stop losses, because they just want the market to come back and get to break even or into profit. But they will also, when they get into profitable trades, bank their profits too soon because they want to be right. And so if you bank your profits too early, then your profitable trades aren't paying for your losing trades. What else will they do? I can't even read my own handwriting here. I scribbled down some notes last night and I can't read it. So I'm just going to press pause and try and read what I've got here. I've got it. Hesitation. Hesitation is a big one. Retail traders will very frequently hesitate to get into trades. So because they trade on emotions a lot more, they will look at a trade and they won't like it, and it might be that they just had a couple of losing trades beforehand and they really don't want to take that next trade, and so they don't take it and it becomes a big winner, that type of stuff. So hesitation is another common mistake. Overgearing is another one. So trading at too big a size, and if you go too big a size, then and you could be right and you can have a profitable strategy, but if you're risking too much per trade and the profitable strategy has a drawdown, then you're still going to lose in a big way. So overgearing is another common one. Over trading and revenge trading as well, I've written down here. So trading too frequently. So you get some traders who just get very excited about the whole prospect of trading and then they overtrade. So if they're day traders, they just want to sit there and just, if they haven't placed a trade in half an hour, then they've got to find something, and they want to take 20, 30 trades a day or more. And so whereas the reality is, as we know, with trading, is that you don't have to be taking hundreds and hundreds of trades every day. That's not the case. And revenge trading is part of that. Revenge trading is after having a loss or a few losers that you feel compelled to make them back as quickly as possible. So then you're more likely to push it and overtrade, as trade too much, or stop using stop losses or over gear. All of those other things then start to come in under the realms of revenge trading. So there you go. I've just listed a few for you. I'm not giving you all the answers as to why or how to overcome all of those this week. I've done those in previous videos on mindset, but it was just amusing to me that I had made a mistake, and it happens. I do have execution errors because that's just a human thing. You can make mistakes, but the main point is you can also rectify a mistake like that, and make sure you do. Now, the other common mistakes that I've highlighted, those go really into mindset, and you need to understand what type of mindset towards trading you have. Do you have a fear-based mindset, or do you have a greed-based mindset? Now, do in the comments below, this is on the YouTube channel, but if you're watching it on our website as well, then do put into the comments what you feel is your mindset, whether you're more greed-based or fear-based, and any particular issues you may have, and by all means I will reply to your comments. Hopefully that's a useful video for you. I shall see you on Friday for live trading.